Hello and welcome back to part 3 of Doki Doki Literature Club. Sounds like we will be reading our poem out loud today, which is, I'm sad to say, the most exciting thing that this game has thrown at me so far. One of them swore, and that was exciting. But if things don't start kind of picking up, I think I'm gonna look at some other games that are more up my alley, because this is so far from my area of expertise. This is like you telling someone that you like the color black, and they say, "Here, have pink." You're sitting there and you're trying to make jokes about it, trying to make the best of it, but this game is not my forte. This is not my area. So we're gonna load the game here. Okay, this is where we left off. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thought.
Is that alright, Yuri? You look kinda down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. Oh, it's not. It's fine.
Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Ah, jeez, man. Alright, I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer it if I only read with you? Them smooth moves, though. Whoa.
I guess I don't have too much of a preference either way.
She wants you to only read with her. I'm gonna decode from girl for you. When she doesn't have much of a preference either way, it's because she wants to see a response. Because she's looking for a certain response. And the response she wants is for you wanting to spend time with her. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. Gosh darn it! Men. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know?
That's good reasoning.
AKA, that's good reasoning with your head, not with your heart. You don't love her, now you're friend-zoned.
In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time.
Just the first 2? And... oh, so she's giving me like a homework assignment. See, I told you she was going to be a teacher. Alright. I stand up, I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, and then slip it back in my bag. Trust me, that never works. Like, leave something in the book, like a slip, or like a note, or a picture, something. Whatever you do, just don't dog-ear the freaking book. Nothing messes with me more than that.
By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night?
Yes, and it is dark. Yeah. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. Well, they're all embarrassing themselves in front of you, so how about you just join in, be a man, shut up, and suck it up. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I'd never really done this before. I know, we just penned down random nouns.
Well, now that everybody's ready, why don't we find someone to share with? I can't wait.
Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori's is on a wrinkle sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook. I can already see Monica's pristine handwriting from where I sit. And the narrator really lists everything. Did I really need to know what kind of medium they use to write their poems on? Natsuki and Yori reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Yori! Yori seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion, to be fair. Well, this is some nice jazz music here. Kinda nice. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten.
Exceptional!
Eh? What was that?
Did I say that out loud?
Yuri first covers her mouth and then ends up covering her whole face. Yeah, some girls do that when they get embarrassed, or surprised, or flustered. He's gonna hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. Eh? I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Ha 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 ha. Yuri takes a breath.
So, what kind of writing experience do you have?
10 years worth of online forums and a couple of unpublished novellas that I get to like chapter 13 before I drop the idea and pick up a new one. But my character has probably just, his writing experience has probably just drawn a crayon on the wall when he was 5.
Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before.
Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time.
Really? Huh?
Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again.
Well, I know that. I just meant,
She trails off, unable to find an excuse. See, now you embarrassed her. What you should have said is, oh, I just write from here to there. You know, then she'll think that you're not a natural-born smart-ass expert. You're just someone who sorta does it on and off over a couple of years. And she wouldn't feel so bad because she writes poems too, and she works really hard on that, and your poem may make her poem feel inadequate, so you know what? You should have just lied there. She traces her finger along the words in the poem as if breaking it down more thoroughly.
Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical in new writers.
Oh my god. Like, way too many periods. And no semicolons.
And having been through that myself, I kinda learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate.
What?
In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they form fit the two together.
I was bonding with you like one episode ago, and now I have no idea what you're talking about. You're just lying to save face.
The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened.
I may have to find some other person to interact with. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone, and she sounds like an expert. Geez, if only my stammering was completely gone.
Of course, that's not something you should be blamed for. There are so many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a simple poem.
Yes, there's so much. Every word has to connect to everything else, and the overall theme needs to flow very smoothly. It's not unheard of to be stuck on a certain line for the longest time. Like, I've gotten stuck on a line for a month, and I've just sat there staring at the page trying to figure out what the heck to write in that slot. Because poems are hard, man. They're intricate, and they're hard, and they're deep, and they're just confusing, too. There's so many different kinds.
Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part.
Yep, pretty much.
It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in this club gives you valuable feedback. It's not my writing though, so it's not all that feedback. Natsuki can be a little biased though.
Biased? How?
Well, never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry.
It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. So Natsuki's probably not going to like it because she likes super cutesy things, and I wrote a whole lot of horrible stuff. Every gory option, because I was trying to impress her, and now she's lying out of her mouth. So, lying through her teeth. Do you mind if I read your poem now?
Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it.
Yuri smiles dreamily as if this is a rare opportunity for her, which in itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club?
Oh, she actually got a freaking poem. What a night. Oh, and her writing is very lovely.
Okay. Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow. Bathing, it must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present, but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. Ooh. The game maker must have had a lot of fun making that.
I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting.
Trust me, sweetheart, that is very nice, especially when you compare it to mine. People look at my writing and they go, is it a different language? And I'm like, no, it's English. And they're like, how? What? I wasn't thinking that at all.
But it took you a long time to read.
Well, I was talking.
Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually thought your handwriting was pretty. Eh? I'm kind of curious. If it popped up and I, like, immediately clicked away, would she have responded differently? That's a relief. Also, I like the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems.
Sometimes it's really nice to just write a short poem. Just, like, get everything out, then shove it away, work on the next one. Not at all.
I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest, since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to digest, I suppose.
Are you into ghosts, Yuri?
Woohoo! Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Crow.
Really? I must have totally missed the point.
Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all, but remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences in their work.
Yeah, and poems are hardly ever one-sided like that, so whenever she says ghost, she's using the ghost as a metaphor for something else.
They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost. Lingering in her past remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing.
That's a lot more solemn, putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. It's impressive.
Eh? It's nothing, really. Yours was impressive, too, so...
Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you.
You think so?
Of course.
Aw. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Crow.
Me too. God, I have to do that big old cutscene with all these girls. Alright, let's provoke Natsuki.
Crow, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home.
What? Harsh.
What, you expect me to leave? You actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid?
I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in some effort. Jeez, this girl's mean. We all start somewhere, right? If you're so proud of the first poem you ever liked, then I'd like to read it. If you've ever read, then I like to read it.
Huh?
Painful to think about? Oh god, my first poem. Oh, kill it with fire.
Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'll tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again.
Fair enough.
Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I better share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid.
Yeah, you're right. I think it's stupid. Eagles can fly, monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it.
Yeah, I told you weren't gonna like it.
I like it.
What? Just be honest.
I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Because I don't. It looks like something I made in preschool.
Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously.
Actually, that kind of writing is like, I forget what it's called, but it's like, really blunt, really straightforward, really straight to the point, but highly symbolic, and it's like, the tip of an iceberg sort of thing, where like, you just write one sentence, but it has like a whole paragraph of meaning, and that's like that iceberg. It's actually a thing. There's a big author out there who uses it. Man, forget. I'll remember later. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid.
Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard.
Yeah, that's what it is, where it's super easy to read, and it hits you really hard because the, God, what is it called? Oh, that's gonna drive me insane. Because the whatever technique, it really hits you hard. Uses a lot of strong imagery too.
Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening, so I decided to write about it.
Yeah, I understand. My name's Crow though, so I can fly. Just gonna throw that out there.
But the other nice thing about writing simple is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. It helps bring out the feeling in the last line.
So, you did. I guess more went into it than I thought.
That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you?
Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everybody is, but if Natsuke is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. I'm just... Oof. Sayori!
This is a good poem, Crow. Are you sure this is your first time?
Of course. It's not that good. Am I the kind of guy who would be writing poems in his spare time?
I guess you're right, but that's why it impressed me. Well, to be honest, I was afraid you wouldn't do it seriously.
Yeah, can you imagine, like, just, like, printing something off the internet? That'd be terrible.
Or that you wouldn't write one at all.
God, that'd be so rude. Everybody else has a poem except you, the newest member of the group. It's terrible.
I'm really happy just that you wrote one. It just reminds me how you're really a part of the club now.
Not to mention the fact that she's standing in front of you in the club room. That I'm standing in front of you in the club room. Well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise.
See? It's like I said before, Crow. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people, that's something that only really good people do.
Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Your motive is going to fall flat on its face because I'm going to close this game and not open it again because this is mind-numbing. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined, knowing how much this means to her and all.
Yeah, and I'm going to make sure you have lots of fun, okay? That will be my way of thanking you.
Alright, I'm going to hold you to that then.
Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this.
That's what they always say before they, like, pop up a novella. We'll see about that. Dear sunshine, the way you glow through the blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you miss me, kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue, it's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad, I want breakfast. That's cute, I like it. This is just a guess, but did you wait until morning to write this?
No, just a little bit.
You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question.
I forgot to do it last night.
Yeah, I told you someone would get writer block. Well, at least that makes me feel a little bit better about myself.
Don't be mean. I still tried my best.
Yeah. I didn't mean to say that was a bad poem. It came out nice. Or how should I put it? It sounds just like you.
Really?
Yeah. Especially that last line.
I made eggs and toast.
Man, all these people in this game, they're like gourmet chefs making eggs, toast, kitty cupcakes. I'm eating like dry cereal, and soup in a can. A lot of soup in a can. Even though you were late to school?
It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky.
Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me.
This was so much fun. Monica's the best.
Yeah.
But next time, I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever.
Well, I guess I look forward to it. Wouldn't it be horrible if, like, Monica saw me going to each of the other girls before her, and then there was an option where I could exit the room and just leave Monica hanging? Just be like, bye, don't need ya. Farewell.
Hi, Crow. Having a good time so far?
Yeah.
Good. Glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the code, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay?
Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm settled in.
Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Crow. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know?
Well, one of us is wearing a very, very swooshy skirt here. Like, that was an amazing move on the artist's part, because this is really hard to get right. But also, she needs to be way more aware that she's wearing a skirt.
But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon.
Yeah, that's true. See, what happens is, like, if you share writing with someone, it's like your most intimate thoughts, so you kind of connect on a deeper level like that. And if you share it with a room, then you know, get a bit more confident with yourself, and you get a better relationship with all the people in the room. I hand Monica my poem.
Great job, Crow. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical.
And then I get my poem back, and it's literally random nouns on a sheet of paper.
I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. I guess I underestimated you.
It's easiest for me to keep everybody's that's me. It's easiest for me to keep everybody's expectations low. Ha! That's not the way a man should go through life. That way, it always counts when I put in some effort. That's just even more sad.
That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right?
No, I had no idea whatsoever. I wrote it for her, though, and she didn't like it.
Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism, unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness. Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that efficiently.
It is hard, but that's the way I like to write.
Both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing.
She's absolutely right. Writing is really cool in the way that you're never gonna be at the perfect carbon copy level as someone else. So if I turn down the street and I ask someone, hey, do you want to exchange some writing with me? And they said yes, and we exchanged it. There's no way you're going to hit the same mark as them, because everybody does their own thing. It's all a different style, it's all different characters, it's all different symbolism, it's all different techniques, you know, grammar and stuff like that. It is the technical part of the hobby, but for the most part, you know, it's all about just being yourself and, you know, not worrying about other people. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. Another thing about writing that she's talking about here is that when you're trying to write a scene, it gets really hard to do it if you've never actually done it. For instance, I learned archery because one of my characters had a scene in which she picked up a bow and was firing, so I learned archery. A lot of my characters do ride horseback from time to time because I do write in the Viking kind of genre. So they do ride horseback, so I actually rode a horse, and it helps promote the more surreal realm. It's a lot of fun too. It really gets you out of your bubble.
That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you.
Yep, she's on the money there.
Everyone else might be a little biased towards their own kinds of styles.
Yeah, everybody's always gonna vote for their kind, the kind that's closest.
But I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants you to write. it's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. So this girl just wants me to develop my style. Sayori just wanted me to have fun, but the pink girl and Yori were both clearly extremely biased. Yori really liked mine because it was horror, and Natsuki really didn't like it because it wasn't cute. So those two are biased. Ahaha! Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. That's what the other one said, and it was great. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to be not very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I know that feeling. Sometimes you're like crying over something really stupid, and then you have to do the walk of shame to like the bathroom, and you just like shoulders back, head up, just work it, and just, you know, as long as you look confident, no one's gonna cross you. I see. Well, let's read it then. Ooh, I get to scroll. Oh, your paper scrolls. Neat. Hole in the wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the sparkle protrudes. A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend. I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel blind like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retina's already scorched with the permanent copy of the meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep. Stretching further into nothing. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out, and he, on the other side, was looking in. Oh. That's interesting. So, what do you think? It's very freeform, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. That's okay. Well, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines, and it's really freaking hard because the timing is really hard to get right. I tried doing that a while ago, and I couldn't. I like having a lot of nouns and symbolisms, like kind of like how Yuri writes, but typically of a super longer length. So I could never do freeform for longer than like 2 stanzas before I try to cram in way more stuff than I'm supposed to. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany lately. It's been influencing my poems a bit. Wait, epiphany? You wrote that about looking into a dark hole, and he was looking out, and you got blinded in your eye because you got opened up to way too many possibilities. Did, like, someone get, like, murdered, and the villain or the killer guy, like, talked to you about it? And now you're writing his death poems for him? No, that'd be stupid. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming on strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. All this talking is really twisting my tongue in knots. I'm not used to talking. It just goes on and on and on, and I still don't have any choices here. Here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. For me, it's usually like 5 chapters in the future. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy it up later. Yep, that's why I write in pen, so that you can't constantly erase. You have to just keep it down, and then you can refine it behind a computer screen. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big, dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. She sounds like a radio tune. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glance around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. That was a little more boring. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they are just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. Can I see it though? This is a literate club after all. I sighed. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayo and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. Oh, these are the two biased ones. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows flutter in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What's with this language? Eh? Huh? Did you say something? Oh, it's nothing. Natsume dismissively returns to the poem on the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Oh, thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was just trying to say something nice.
These guys are brutal.
Eh? You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple of suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Crow did too. So based on that, I will gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me, I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon. Unless, of course, I come across something particularly inspiring, which I haven't yet.
Yeah, I'm with her. You can't just trash someone else's writing style like that. I mean, these two are bashing each other, but the way she handled it was snooty, but it's the way you should go about it.
And Crow liked my poem too, you know. He even told me he was impressed by it.
Natsuki suddenly stands up.
Oh, I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri.
This is fantastic music.
Eh? That's not what I... You just...
Yuri stands up as well.
Maybe you're just jealous that Crow appreciates my advice more than he appreciated yours.
Alright, never mind. Cat fight. This is gonna be fun. Oh no!
Huh? And how do you know he didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make sure everything I do is overly cutesy.
Ooh! Is everybody okay?
Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Crows started showing up.
Oh, man!
Natsuki!
Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you! I don't like fighting, guys! Suddenly, both girls turned towards me as if they just noticed I was standing there.
Crow! She's trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could just get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Crow. But wait. There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the only way to convey complex feelings and meanings the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Crow? Well?
How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing. But whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. So of course, that's gonna be... Oh god. I side with Yuri, but I don't like the idea of bashing someone else's freaking writing styles. Yes, I do prefer Yuri's writing style over because it does mirror my own, but Natsuki, her kind of writing isn't to be insulted. It's not that, you know, different from a lot of the really cool stuff that's in the classic literature. Alright, Yuri. Natsuki. You're right that I liked your poem.
See?
Wait.
That's not an excuse for you to be so mean. You shouldn't pick a fight just because someone's opinion is different. That's not what happened at all. Yuri wouldn't even take my poem seriously. I understand. Yuri, You're a seriously talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. What? Well, but here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feelings into it, and it becomes something really personal. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. Oh, see? There we go. I agree with Crow Man for once. I see. I didn't notice that I'm sorry. Ooh. But Natsuki, you took it way too far. Yuri means well, and if you just told her how you felt, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. Are you kidding? That's exactly what I did. It was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things that you didn't mean till you brought her bust into it. Yuri apologized. Don't you think you should too? Natsuki clenches her fists. In the end, nobody has taken her side. She's trapped at this point, being defiant only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up even feeling bad for her. Sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps me to take a walk and clear my head. Sayori, she doesn't need to... You know what? I'm gonna do that. It'll spare me from having to look at all your faces right now. Without warning, Natsuki snatches her poem up from the desk and storms out. On her way out, she crumples up the poem with her hands and throws it in the trash. Oh. Natsuki, she really didn't need to do that. Look across the room. Yuri has her chin buried in her hands while she stares down at her desk. I gingerly approach her and sit in an adjacent chair. Oh, everything all right? I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. Well, I got a different opinion of you, that's for sure. No, Yuri! How could anyone not have gotten frustrated after being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. Well, alright, I believe you. Thanks, Crow. You're too kind. I'm thankful to have you a part of this club now. Yeah, I'm just pulling aside the club. Pulling it apart at the strings. It's nothing. One more thing. That one thing that Natsuki said about, your bust. I would never do anything so shameful. So, What thing did Natsuki say? Well, never mind that. Do you expect me to believe that a guy totally forgot about a smart comment about another woman's bust? Guys are obsessed with those. There's no way he forgot it in the 5 seconds between now and when it happened. Well, never mind that. I'm gonna go make some tea. Ah, good idea. Make enough for more than one person, okay? Yeah. Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing your poems? It ended horribly. It was a lot of fun. It ended horribly. Well, I'd say it was worth it, but it ended horribly. It was all right. Well, mostly. Oh my god, am I the only person who remembers that it ended horribly? Crow, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. Only because I can't click any other option. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe you'll learn something from your friends, too. So your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, I did learn a little bit more about the kind of poems everybody likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Crow, ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Sayori beams at me. Truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it, either. Sayori! Oh, Sayori! About that, what happened earlier? What do you mean? Between Yuri and Natsuki? Does that kind of thing happen often? No. That's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion is all. I can see why they'd make good friends with you. Phew! Crow, it's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club. But I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. But I'm tearing your club apart. Those girls were fighting over my opinion of them. They didn't fight before I came into the club, and now they're fighting right after. I'm just gonna point that out. And I think everyone really likes you too.
Oh yeah, a little too much.
That's every day is gonna be so much more fun.
It looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? Oh, he's getting smooth moves out. Alright, well, that poem reading wound up ending terribly. I don't think the next one will go any better, because they're still gonna probably pick a fight, because that's what girls do whenever they have a crush on the same guy. And it's gonna be worse because I sided with one of them. I should have been entirely impartial. I was a fool. Anyway though, I'm gonna end that here. We're gonna do part 4 sometime tomorrow, I believe. I should really set up an outro. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Or do all 3.